I'm going to present you first, don't I? Do I present you first? Yes, that's right.
No, later. We're doing it during the pledge.
That sounds brilliant work changing tunes is doing. As Michael Howard said when he visited prisons, it's great to see so many of you here tonight. Imagine a charity that believes so strongly that development aid could, I have to do this nodding thing each time. The development aid could do more harm than good, that regularly turned down donations for child sponsorship, even though those funds would have allowed an orphan the chance of a secondary level education. That charity is PEAS. Each year, PEAS launches new low-fee secondary schools in Uganda. Over the next 2 weeks, and out of the worst recession in most of our lives, Green Shoots, the 6th PEAS school, will open its gates for the first time to 200 new students. Some of the students in the area around the school can't afford to pay the fees, even though they would have, they cost just £20 a term for tuition and lunch every day. But if one of you asked me today to fund some free places at the school, or to fund an expert teacher to come over to the school, or to fund some HIV/AIDS awareness workshops at the school, I'd turn you down. Why? Because everything we do at PEAS is founded on a set of very hard-headed principles. Whatever services we provide today, we'll continue to provide them indefinitely, irrespective of continued funding from the UK. Sadly, over the last 30 years, aid has had a negligible impact on development and growth in Africa. The reasons are complex, but I believe very strongly that a big part of the problem has been the dependency created by external funding of ongoing project costs and the associated asymmetry of power and disempowerment that follows. On this basis, each of our schools runs entirely self-sufficiently after just 1 year. Thousands of additional permanent secondary school places are being created by PEAS, and each one costs us just £130 in capital, fundraising and project management costs. That means for every £130 you give PEAS, every 4 years, and for the rest of eternity, another student will benefit from an affordable, quality secondary education. I want to re-emphasise that I don't mean £130 today and then again next year. I mean £130 once off as a capital investment. For the children who benefit, the private rate of return in Uganda to secondary education is 28%. That means that every year of the rest of their life they'll earn 28% more than their peers who've just finished primary. And in Uganda that's enough to take a child and his or her future family out of poverty. So what do we actually do? First of all, we find a piece of land in an area where the ratio of primary school leavers is high compared to the secondary school places. Then we buy it and we build a school using local contractors and environmentally friendly building techniques. Then we recruit a director of finance and development. The director recruits everyone else with help from PEAS, and all our staff are local. Then we buy enough equipment for the school to start up. Then we open the school. Then we audit the finances termly, and we carry out educational inspections annually. Then we network the school with other PEAS schools and staff. Then we provide professional development training for staff at the schools using the best staff from across the network as trainers. Now, why am I here today? Well, the new school we're opening is some great buildings but very limited funds so far for equipment. And to cover the salary subsidy that is needed during year one before the school reaches scale, we need about £3,000 as well. From the year after it starts, the fees cover the entire cost of the school as you get the returns to scale. Today, to make sure Green Shoots develops into a hardy perennial, sorry for that, I hope you will consider helping us give it the best start we can by funding this budget, which is there. Anything we raise above the budget, we've got a couple of items at the bottom there. The bottom 3 items are our hopeful items. We should have got £150,000 by the presentation made earlier on, just in case. Erasmus further here? I'm not sure they do our sort of thing. Is that my 5 or 6 minutes?
5, you got one.
Oh, that's all right. I can sit down. So the bottom few items are some of the other things that we'd love to put into that school. You know, the more we raise, the more we can do, because every time I go to Uganda, there are a million things that I can see in our schools that I'd like to improve in terms of capital investments. There's always more things we can do. I'd like to finish by thanking Tiffany again for having me here, thanking David Case and the Laura Case Trust for sponsoring me, and looking forward to any challenging questions.